Morning all, how are we doing? Happy Monday. Morning, Analia. Alhada. This morning, I was just taking a quick trade on the DAX, this gap fill. I couldn't resist it. It looked too good. I'm trading on my futures account as well, but on the ES. It's just pulled back at the moment. I got in on a break of this wick basically, and then I took a second break of the high to add to the position. As soon as I did that, they put in a 3-bar reversal and was pulled back, but we haven't broken the lows yet, so I'm going to watch this at the open. There's 6 minutes to go, but I've only got 0.5% risk on it, but it just looks like a very big tempting target this morning for them to go for. So I'm hoping we're going to get a big push on all the indices this morning, but we'll see. But yeah, I thought I'd have a quick go on that this morning because it looked too big and too good to miss. So, morning Diamond. I like these big ones. When you get a really, really big gap, you've got plenty of room to sort of play around with the trade. But quite often they just go after an initial pullback, but we didn't get it this morning, so it might come down and whoops, take me out before we get anywhere near it, but we'll see. But yeah, so big gap on the DAX to sort out. Just a quick run through the news before the market opens. We've got 5 minutes. So today we've got Bailey speaking this afternoon. That's it. We had Kuroda speaking this morning. I'll go through the overnight news as well in a minute. Some bit of news on the yen. Nothing much tomorrow. We've got Bailey again tomorrow evening, but apart from that, no news. Then it all kicks off on Wednesday, so everything this week starts from Wednesday. We got the rates for New Zealand, half percentile, 50 basis points basically, 0.5%. Increase is on the cards. They did pump it on April's, so we might get something a little bit different, but we'll see. So we'll see what happens with that one. We've got also GDP for the pound. That is only an orange one, but the GDP figures do quite often produce a spike, especially if they're not as forecast. So just keep an eye on the pound on Wednesday morning early. We've got CPI for the US dollar. Then we've got the CAD rate in the afternoon. That's again forecast 0.5%. They haven't done any surprises, the Canadians, with their rates. So if that comes out as a little bit different to expected, then that could be a big mover. But we should see some good movement on the CAD, probably positive. Same with the New Zealand. When the rates increase, we tend to get positive movement on the currency. So we'll see what happens with those, but they should be good. And we've got the press conference as well on Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, we've got unemployment for the Aussie early morning. We've got PPI for the US dollar and unemployment. And then we've got retail sales on Friday and University of Michigan consumer sentiment, which doesn't tend to do much. So busy week, but it doesn't start until Wednesday. So quite possibly we will see a little bit of movement early this week, where they will take it to levels and then reverse it from those levels when the news starts to kick in, especially with all these rates we've got for the CAD, and the CPI figures tend to do a lot as well. Obviously CPI is key to interest rates, so what happens with these figures is a good indication of what's going to happen with interest rates moving forward. So some big numbers coming out this week. Overnight we've had Kuroda talking. I take that to read that inflation is kind of stabilising at around 2%. They are continuing their ultra-loose monetary policy. So the ultra-loose monetary policy is basically what has caused the yen to be weak over the last sort of few months. That's what they're continuing with. So we should see continuation weakness in the yen. but it is difficult to tell. So I'm going to keep an eye on the yen this morning. I haven't really got a lot of yen on. I've only got one position on a yen, so I'm not too worried about it, but we'll keep an eye on that. Today we may get some movement on the yen. So there's your news overview for the week. There's a fair bit of it, but nothing starts until Wednesday. We've got obviously Bailey talking about the pound, so the pound could be a little unstable over the next couple of days, but apart from that, there's nothing much else we should expect. So, God, I just pushed up and pulled back down again. I'm going to get stopped out of these two, I can see it. But it's only 0.1%, so I might as well just leave it to hit the stop. 0.1%, I'm not going to argue about it. Morning, Trevor. So yeah, market opens in 1 minute. So we'll have a quick look at the DAX. Just quick overview or recap rather of what I did last week. Finished on 1.3% on Friday. So good end to the week. Good start to the week and good end to the week, which is good. But very good week overall. I did about 5% or something. I can't remember what it was, but something like 5% last week. 5.5%. So yes, closed out quite a bit on Friday. Left the pound pairs running over the weekend. Got out the Aussie yen on Friday. I've got that one CAD yen position on, which is at break even. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's all I'm holding. Pound CAD and pound Swifts shorts at the minute. Got some in profit, some not. So just hovering. Morning, Stevie. So pushing down at the open, stopped out both positions. That's 0.5% loss. So let's see where this goes. That was just a big flurry of sell orders just came in at the open there. So let's see where this goes this morning. Yeah, selling off. Wow. We're not going for the gap then. That's annoying. There goes 2.5k in profits on my futures accounts. Hopefully not. Depends if we break the lows or not. I bought another 2 Apex accounts yesterday, which I'm replicating trades into. It's too good an opportunity to miss those. If you didn't do them yesterday, you've missed them. But with Apex, they're that 80% offer on. I just bought another 2 50k accounts. It's $33. You can't not buy 50k accounts for $33, can you? It's an absolute no-brainer. So I've got, as well as my main account, I've got 4 new evaluations which I'm working on as well. They're only 50k's, but they've only got 3k targets, so they're not particularly difficult to hit. But I'm spreading my risk out across all the accounts, so hopefully I shall secure some more funding this month, which would be lovely. But you can't not take them for $33, can you? Right, DAX is just pulling back at the minute off of this low. Pulling back inside, so I'm just going to go with one more buy stop. Actually, I'm going to go 2 more. I said I wasn't going to trade indices on this account, but I am. Only this morning, just because I've seen this whacking great gap. It's just too good to miss. So we'll see. But I'll try not to trade it on this because I'm trying to keep this as a position trading account. But just see if we get any more sell volume coming in. I'm hoping on the US indices these overnight lows are going to hold, but it doesn't look like it at the minute. Looks like it wants to go, and it is going. That's a bugger. There's $2,000 to make up today. Never mind. Good start to the morning. Morning, Steve. If I didn't say morning already, still in 4 Swissies, currently plus 11%. You need to bank that. If you're position trading, you'll need to bank that. You should have banked that 9% ago. But anyway, well done. 10%, 10%, if you're position trading, 10% is your monthly target. If you're holding that long, you're not position trading, obviously. These must be scalps or something else. But that's good. Morning, Jesse. You're paying the monthly fee on each. Yeah, only once though. You're only paying the monthly fee once, aren't you? I'm not going to take more than 20 days to pass a challenge. So I'm only paying $33. Then it transfers over to a funded, which is $85 a month. So you only pay that $33 once, and then you cancel the account. If you blow it, you cancel it. It costs you $33 to have a crack at 50k. It's just an absolute no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. So just watching these lows, just seeing where we're going to close this candle out. Where's my timer gone? Don't know. It's got about 1 minute left. Here we go. Here come the balls. 1 minute before the candle closes. Long one. So hopefully they were just clearing me out and all the other retail traders who have gone for the gap fill. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go that tight on this. I'm just going to delete that one off a minute. 1 sec. I'm going to put my second entry above the highs and give myself a bit more room on the average. I don't want to get in too tight on it. If it's going to go, it's going to go, and I'm going to hold. So I don't want to get in super tight in case this is just a trap. That was a real lucky escape, that was. $2,200 across 6 accounts. 5 accounts. No, 4. Yeah, 5 accounts on the futures there. Got down to $1,700 odd in drawdown. Hey, and now I'm in a profit. The swings of futures. Okay, so we'll watch that gap fill. So let me just go through quickly the analysis on the indices. So bearish overall, obviously, all indices still, but there's a whacking great gap to fill. So I get the feeling we're going to get this gap fill and we're going to hug the 24 on the DAX. We've still got, this is the thing that really annoys me and worries me about the DAX at the minute, is we've still got this up here, and it's very unusual to get a big gap that doesn't get sorted. But this was quite a dramatic drop, so I've got a feeling. Oh Christ! Sorry, 1 second. Just talking away. I've got $2,500 in profit. Just close that on. 21. $500. Thank you very much. 25. That's going to hit that one anyway. Let those 3 run. Right. Sorry, I just had to close out a load of profit. On the futures, you know, this is in between CFDs and futures. Yeah, that candle for me isn't doing much. On the futures account, that was $2,500. That candle, massive difference psychologically, trading futures to trading M5 candles on CFDs. Big difference in money. So yeah, sorry. What I'm planning. I'm not planning anything. Nothing to do with me. What I'm expecting the market to do is kind of just hover and wait for the 24 to catch up and then push back down on this if we can get this done. But equally, it could just do another drop, another leg down. So we'll see what happens with the rates across this week. If interest rates, this might be a fake. I'm just going to flatten everything on my futures because I don't want to concentrate on that. Interest rates obviously affect the markets in general. So if all the interest rates keep going up and all the inflation rates, everything just keeps flying up, the markets will keep falling down. So it depends what happens with rates. All rates for all countries have an impact because it's the world economy. Stocks are obviously international. So looking for continuation drops on this. We've had 3 big up days. Ordinarily, I would be looking for shorts on this. At the moment, I'm looking for longs just temporarily this morning, see if we can get that gap fill done. If we don't get that gap fill done and we come back down and we re-break these lows, be looking for shorts on this morning. But we'll see how it goes at the open. So we've got our opening range low down there, and I'll be looking for a break of that low basically to look for shorts today. And if we get back up here by New York, then I'll be looking for shorts across all the indices as well. So obviously we've got the gap fill as well on all the US stocks as well. US basically is a little bit different. We are in the 2472 zone at the moment, so the market structure on this is still bearish. We've got this double top opportunity potentially here. So was looking for this to be the pullback leg for the next move down. We didn't get it. We've just sort of hovered and pushed back up again for 4 days. So what I'm looking for is potentially a double top. So if we can get a move up this morning, all the indices support a move up this morning during the Globex, during the London Frankfurt session. If we can get up there by New York, I think we may well get a nice big bear run this afternoon. So just watching this today and monitoring to see where we get to. I'd love to see them get up to this double top on the S&P, on the Nasdaq, and then gives us the opportunity to just tank it this afternoon. Same thing here, obviously on the S&P. S&P and the Nasdaq are always very, very similar. So the market structure still bearish. Looking for this to be the next leg down. Haven't got it yet. Doing a pullback. So we're either going to go into sort of a contraction, drop, or potentially a double top and then drop. Either or. So we just have to wait and see where they take it this morning. So this morning's bullish, this afternoon bearish. Dow exactly the same as you would expect. So market structure, looking for that leg down, didn't get it. So looking for some kind of reaction to give us that short. Obviously these have opened short this morning. So far they've traded short, but there are gaps on all of these this morning. So we've got gaps to get sorted. So we'll see what happens with them. But all looking good for AM longs and PM shorts potentially. But at the moment it doesn't look like it wants to do that. We're getting some buying coming in, but we are getting quite a lot of absorption up at these highs. This seems to be quite, it just feels very heavy this morning. But we'll see. But you're playing them. Yeah, sorry, I just answered that one. What are you using to copy trade your trade? I'm not using a copy trader. I'm trading them all manually. Just quickly flicking between the accounts and placing the orders. Most of my trades are placed with limits, so I just place the limit orders across all the accounts. You can. Apex have got copy trading software, which is for Ninja Trader, and obviously I don't use Ninja anymore. But you can just open Ninja up and have that do your copy trading for you. But I'm just doing it manually, just manually placing the orders. So we're getting some decent rejection at the moment. It seems a little bit undecided this morning. So we've got this opening range to play around in, potentially, if we're not just going to go for it at the open. But if we can get that high broken, I suspect we just start to see legs forming upwards. But it seems really heavy this morning. Anyway, so ADRs, we've got US dollar yen. Nice buyers coming in at the minute. So US dollar yen, we had a big strong push up. This is what I was saying about the yen weakness. The US dollar took full advantage of that during the Asian session. We got a big push up to ADR, and we've basically just hovered there So it's basically Kuroda being a little bit bearish about the yen, and obviously it's given that one a bit of a push, but that's the only ADR hit so far today. I'm bullish on it, looking for longs, and it's given us a breakout of the most recent high that as well. So I'm kind of you can see I've been longing this for the last few weeks, waiting for that breakout, which hasn't come. We've just got into a range. I really want to buy it down at the lows. I'm not interested in buying it up there, obviously, but I'm also not interested in selling it up there. I want to be buying it down here. So it's not really good for me at the minute, US dollar yen. I'm just waiting for some kind of decent pullback on it. I may not get it, may not ever get into it, but just slow grinding sideways and upwards, I think, on the US yen and all the yen pairs. So that's all we've got on the ADRs. Nothing's hit, obviously, on the weeklies. Monthlies, we've got a couple in. We got the euro pound, the euro yen, and the euro US. So we're only on the 11th of the month. We're only a third of the way through the month. We've already done our monthly range on the euro pound. So ordinarily this would look like quite a nice long, but obviously because it's the euro and it's so dramatically weak at the minute, I don't really want to take any longs, particularly on the euro just yet until the rates come out. Euro yen is a potential good opportunity, but it was last week, so missed that one. And the euro US, don't want to be longing against the US at the minute personally. So none of these look really interesting. Hourlies, nothing's lit up. Obviously it's Monday, so we don't tend to get masses of movement on Mondays. On RSIs on Mondays, because obviously Asian session is typically consolidatory. 4 hours, we've still got a few lit up, so we'll quickly whiz through these and then we'll go through all the pairs anyway. But if you've got any specific pairs you want me to look at, let me know in detail. CAD Swiss, so nice extension on the 4 hour. The Swissy, this is a difficult one to trade at the moment. It's kind of a long against a long, I think. The Swiss franc's not been quite as strong after the rate announcement as I was hoping it was going to be. The Canadian dollar's picked up a little bit towards the end of last week. So we had that little bit of a spike on oil, which is sort of stuck. So we've had the big drop, then we pushed back up and retraced, and we're sort of hovering at the minute. So we're waiting for oil to get a good move in at the minute. CAD, we've got news on this week. We've got the overnight rates on Wednesday, 3 o'clock. So we may well see manipulation on the CAD ahead of the rate announcement. I would suspect it would be long. So we want to be looking for long opportunities. Hence, this isn't a great looking short at the moment. We may well pull back before a new move up, but I'd be looking more for longs than shorts on that one. So it doesn't kind of fit with me. But you can take a short at the moment. You've kind of missed it. It was this morning. You can take a short, but obviously just don't try and hold it too long. Otherwise, obviously, you've got the opportunity, if you're going for sort of a target down at recent support, it could well just pull back and go with you in it in the wrong direction. So it's counter trend. And it looks like maybe one of the ones we're going to get the fill on. This one and the US dollar Swiss are the two that are potentially going to get that gap fill done. Euro CAD, not interested. Canadian dollar strong, euro weak. That's exactly the way it should be going. Just no opportunities whatsoever to get in on this thing. Very extended. Again, you can take it. Just look at on the way down on a trend like this, when you get these embedded H4 RSIs, look at the distance you've had on previous pullbacks and assume if you are going to take this counter trend, that's all you're going to get. You need to keep your average within that distance, which is roughly a half to 3/4 of an ADR. So if you're going to get into something, you need to get in fairly quick and fairly tight on these to make sure your average is close enough to get you out. They're just too risky, I think. So just not really for me. Wrong bias. Looking for longs. looking for shorts, and want to get in on a pullback, on either an accumulation, a flag, or a pullback to the 24. I want to be getting in short at the moment, but saying that the bias on the euro could well be changing next week. In a couple of weeks when we get the rate announcement on the euro. So at the moment, it's just not quite right. I was expecting a little bit more euro strength to come in, and what we've actually got is weakness over the last week. So in the run up to a rate announcement, I would expect to get a little bit more money coming through for the euro. It doesn't seem to be happening. Yeah, it's just a difficult thing to trade at the moment. So until it tells me otherwise, I'm going to be doing exactly what it's been doing for the last couple of years and shorting it. Euro pound, same thing. Pound weak, euro weak. It's just holding at the minute. A reversal alert on this would potentially signal a move back up into this propulsion gap. That's really as far as I'd want to take it. We were looking for this break of this low, which we got. We didn't just get it, we slammed it. So for me, I'd be looking for some kind of reaction there for continuation shorts. But because you're trading against the pound, which is also weak at the moment, things are just going to take forever. I can keep saying it. This is a 60 ADR pair. It just goes so slow. Normally you're waiting for absolutely ages to get into any positions on it, and it just doesn't. It's just not a very good, nice pair to trade really. So, but again, this one has got a chance of getting a pullback. It's got to break this recent strong support. If you get a reversal out on this, you're taking a trade straight into resistance. If you're trading into resistance, there's a high probability it's going to hold and you're going to get stuck. So difficult one. If you're going to get into it, if you want to take it, because if it does break, you've got a decent run on it. We've just broken over the point of control on all the US indices. So this looks like the push back up to the gaps fills is just starting. If we do break through there, so in this little accumulation up here somewhere is where you're going to get. So if you take a trade, the thing to do with this one is to monitor it on M15. Take the next reversal alert long, which will be here. If you see a massive rejection there, get out. Just get out. So if it breaks through that, and holds nicely and then accumulates and pushes a little bit more, you're okay. It's either going to have a reaction there or it's not. It's a very strong level. So you just got to bear in mind you're buying straight into this strong resistance. But if it doesn't hold, you're going all the way up to sort of 150 ADR level. Not obviously in one day necessarily, but that's roughly where I'd expect us to get to. So that's Euro Pound, got a chance on that one. Euro New Zealand, we got rates this week on the New Zealand, so you're quite brave taking trades into rate announcements if you're going to long it. I would expect New Zealand dollar to power up on that announcement, hence shorts on Euro New Zealand. So it is nicely extended on the 4 hour, but if we get New Zealand strength, we're going to pop down there, aren't we? So not necessarily the best trade in the world to take either. Pretty difficult at the minute. US dollar Swiss, that's the one that's going for the gap fill, along with the CAD. So somewhere in there, I'd be interested potentially in shorting. US dollar strong, Swiss franc strong. We haven't had that move on the Swissy for a while, so I'm expecting the Swiss franc to power up a little bit. So getting in here, anywhere around in this zone, we are going to have one of two things happen. Either we're going to get everybody that's sold and is holding long term adding to positions and driving this back down again, or we are just going to continue to grind through it with these two battling it out because they're both strong currencies, and then we'll get some kind of reaction up at the highs. So I'm not quite sure. There's no real where do you enter in there. If we continue to grind up and push into there, that's probably where I would start to think about putting the EA on and getting the EA to take a short for me at some point when we get some strength to the downside. So difficult one at the moment. to sort of pick a level on, but somewhere up in here I'll be looking for some shorts. It's very nicely extended and we've been holding in there, but there's no signs of weakness at the moment. It is looking a little bit weak up at these highs. We have got some decent wicks forming, so this could well be the level that we start to get some movement down, but we're not where I want it to be, so the confluence isn't there for me. I want to be up in here and testing this propulsion gap. If it turns here, it turns. It's just not where I want it to turn, so I won't take it. But if you want to get into it here, you know you're going to meet a lot of potential resistance in there. So just see what's going on with this DAX. Has that just got me gathered up into the second position? No, it missed me. Very strong rejection at the pre-market highs. So I'd look for this candle to hold, this low here basically to hold. So if we're going to muck about for a half an hour or so, I just want to make sure this doesn't get breached. A bit more balls coming in. So just watch the crickets if you're long on this. Yeah, so that's it on 4 hours. Nothing else much to look at. It's just everything that's lit up on the 4 hour at the moment is just the wrong side for me. Opposite biases. So not particularly interested. So we'll whiz through all of the FX pairs. We'll have a look at everything. And to see if there's any opportunities to get into any more shorts on anything. Just have a quick look at what's happening with what I've got currently on. Pound Swiss. It's coming down. So pound Swiss, I won't hold this. I never do. But that is my overall target on this down there. We held this level 3 times. We've held it more than 3 times though. I mean, if you look at it, we've held this level a lot, but as in attempts to get through it, there's 1, 2, 3, and we pushed. So this level we know is a very, 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 very strong support. I'm looking for us to come back down and retest this level, hence having my TPs on 2 of the positions down here. I've also got TP on the other 2 positions because I've got 4 on this at this low here. So I'm looking for potentially a range to form there. So that's what I've got on this one. We've still got more room, obviously, for it to push up if it wants to. This is the biggest resistance on the pound Swiss, and then we've got this accumulation area here. So potentially I'm looking for we could well get up into this area here, but hopefully now we're extended here, we're going to get a nice pullback. If it's going to go long, pull back into there for a new leg up. If it's going to continue short the pound, obviously we should, if we get another run at that level, we should break that level this time. So so that's what I mean with the pound. So I was just seeing if there's anything I want to take off. The pound CAD, just mucking about in a minute, and the CAD yen hasn't gone anywhere, which is fine. Right, so let's start at the top. Anybody got any pairs specifically they want to have a look at? Let me know if you're in drawdown on anything, you've got lots of positions on something you want help with. But I'll whiz through all the pairs anyway. So Aussie dollar CAD shorts. I'm double exposed on the CAD. Yeah, this is what I think we looked at this Friday, didn't we? And I was like, this is right for shorts right now. It's just starting to come down. I'm too exposed on the CAD, so I can't actually take this one on, but I would take it on as a short. So the support rectangle is holding nicely. We've got the 24 coming down on top. We've got this fairly decent level of resistance, which we've kind of tapped up into these wicks and rejected. So this looks like it's rejecting nicely. Strength on the CAD. Aussie is a real question mark. Both the Aussie and the New Zealand are a bit of a question mark as to whether they're bullish or bearish at the moment. more bearish at the minute than they are bullish across the board. But so yeah, so looking for shorts on this one. Entry on this one was last week on Friday. Not particularly pretty reversal alert on M15 because we're in a multi-day accumulation. But yeah, looking for shorts on this. So I like the look of that as a short. But I can't take it on because I'm exposed already on the CAD. Aussie Swiss, again, same thing, lovely bounce on the 24. I quite like the look of that. That's come into that accumulation really nicely. We have just got, I'm going to go one on short on that. Aussie Swiss, I like the look of that one. 910. Okay, so 0.26. A little bit late on it, but so taking first entry on Aussie Swiss. Just target the lows for the minute. EA is now set up, so if this does push up, I'll get into reversals. If we're going to draw down on it, obviously the EA will just get me in on additional positions short. So I like the look of this. Lovely pullback into the 24. The Aussie I don't think is going to have enough legs to get anywhere near that. We need to be wary of the Aussie this week because we've got the New Zealand dollar rates coming out. The Aussie and the New Zealand move in tandem a lot of the time. So if when one gets affected by news, the other one tends to get dragged along with it. Aussie being the dominant of the two pairs, it tends to be in control most of the time, as you'll see from the Aussie New Zealand. So yeah, I just love the look of this. This is a lovely pullback. We just tapped into the RSI extension on the 4 hour. We've tapped into the 24. We've tapped into accumulation resistance, and the bias is just right. So I love the look of that. So I'm short on Aussie Swiss. Aussie yen is a long, just about. This is not good. The yen's really weird at the minute. Got the longest flag in the world forming on it. I've been long in it, as you can see, loads, and you know I've done really well out of this last week. I still like it long, but I was in it for ages and stuck in it for what seemed like forever. It was a couple of weeks basically since I took the first position on it, and I got into it last week and I was in it all week, and I just managed to squeeze kind of 2% or so out of it. So it was really hard work trying to get money out of it. It seems to be wanting to make new lower highs constantly, and lower lows. We've just put in a higher low though, so we have now got a symmetrical triangle starting to form. So we are going into a potential contraction. We've put in a higher low, a higher high there. Sorry, I'll get it right in a minute. Know what I'm talking about. So we're putting in a new higher low, and we're putting in lower highs. It's like tongue twisters market structure. So we're contracting. The yen, from what Kuroda said over the weekend or this morning, early hours, I would suspect we are going to continue with weakness on the yen. So it's going to be reliant on whether or not we can get any strength out the Aussie, which we haven't had. So watching this potentially for long opportunities there. You could just get in long here. You know, it's in a great spot. 24.72 is they're contracting. They're close together. We've got double bottom sort of for it's a higher bottom, but it's a level forming basically, where we're rejecting from. So it looks good for longs. I'm in the CAD yen long, and as I say, I milked this one last week. I just don't want to get into it again. I wanted to see it go and it didn't. So it slightly worries me, but also before a breakout you get a contraction. And the symmetrical triangle contractions tend to be a lot stronger. So if that does break to the upside, we've got a good chance of it flying. We've got New Zealand dollar rates coming out, expected to get positive movement off of the New Zealand, which could well drag the Aussie with it, and this could be the week we get that big push we've been waiting for. So looks good for longs. Aussie New Zealand, again, I was long on this all month, it seems. I've been longing this thing constantly, made a lovely profit out of it. It's just not able to get anywhere at the moment. So anywhere down here, I'm long it again. If we pull back into this propulsion gap, I'm interested long again. So I want to see some kind of move down. So I'll be monitoring the 4-hour RSI, and obviously if it lights up on the hourly RSI, that's the more likely signal. That's where I would start to get interested in longing it again as well on the hourly. But at the moment we're just kind of hovering up at the highs, so nothing. But I like it long still on that. Good buying coming in on the indices. We were hovering around point of control on all of the US indices at the minute, so we are just in an accumulation at present, no directional bias. But we did put high in and a higher low, so fingers crossed, looks bullish. Aussie New Zealand, yeah, so liking longs on that, just not yet. Aussie US shorts, again, just we seem to be stuck in accumulation. We're just starting to form a contraction here as well. I think this week we're going to get some serious moves on some of this stuff. Hopefully, I mean, it could well just be that we're going to go into summer trading and we're going to be hideously range bound, but we are contracting very nicely on this one as well. So again, looking for a breakout. Aussie unknown, US dollar strong, so I would be looking more for shorts on it. Obviously you can see we're short, but equally if we do get the New Zealand rate pushing the Aussie, we could get push up into that area, and that's where I would definitely be interested in shorting it if we can get up there. But equally you could take a short now and it could just break out the lows right this second. So lovely buying coming in on the indices. So looking for shorts on that, again not ripe at the minute. CAD Swiss, again same, looking for shorts if we can get up to there, but this is the Canadian dollar and I'm expecting it to continue to strengthen off the back of oil, and oil it should be getting up to 130, 150 a barrel again shortly, and potentially a lot higher than that. So you are counter trend if you're going to short this, really. But obviously we are extended. If we can get push up into here and remain embedded, eventually after an embedded RSI we get that that sort of, it's usually an ADR push, an ADR to ADR push dump. So as long as we continue to just grind like this, if we can get up into this area, I'd be very interested in shorting it. It will be counter trend, but we've got two strong currencies against each other, so it just takes one of them to go quiet for a little bit, like the CAD, and the Swissy to have a big day, and you're in and out and you're done. So I like it short, but not from where it is at the moment, because there's absolutely no reason to take a short here. This is just drop. There's nothing that says I should be shorting it anywhere here. I'd be interested in shorting it when we get into here somewhere, but wait and see if it gets there. If it doesn't get there, it doesn't get there. It's no trade. CAD Yen long, still long on this one. Taking a couple of positions off of this, made some profit last week. We're just accumulating. This is now week 4 of the accumulation. Buying the lows, selling the highs. Well, I'm not selling the highs, I'm just buying the lows basically, because I'm long biased. CAD long, yen short. So yeah, buying off of the 24. I'm still in one position, waiting. Swiss yen long. So this one is down to a fairly decent level at the moment. This is where I was hoping we would get down to, but we didn't. So again, you could take a long here. Swiss yen, I couldn't get into this because I had too much yen on last week, and kind of missed it on Friday, though it is coming back to that level pretty much now. I can't take any more Swissy on. So yeah, Swiss yen, nice looking long if you want it. 4-hour reversal alert, and again just let's target the highs initially. Euro odd. So at the moment, euro is a short, and I'm staying with that bias until it gives us some indication of doing something else. Rate announcement obviously towards the end of the month. Australian dollar is neutral, so the fact that this has come down so hard, this is really nicely extended, but and you know, we've got really good signs of the balls coming in down here, but we're not making any progress. So for probably what's that, 3 days, we haven't gone anywhere. We're not making any progress. So Friday we didn't make any progress at all. So if you think Wyckoff, for those of you that know Wyckoff theory, a break of this low would be your spring, and then a move up and accumulation or hold at the highs would be ready for that move long. So reversal alert on the hourly on this, I think is probably a decent long opportunity, but you are fighting this huge drop. So likelihood is someone's going to want to take some profit out of this move, but how far they will get, I don't know. So again, it's just too fast, too hard, and it's the wrong bias for me. If it had done this to the opposite direction, I would have been all over it, like I was up here. But not down here. I don't really want to be longing the euro at the minute still. At the minute, I mean, I think my bias is going to change on that in the next month. But I want to see what they do with the rates, and I want to see what the market makes of that change to the rates. I want some confirmation of us actually being bullish on something euro, because you know, at the moment we're not, are we, at all? We're bearish. Same with the CAD. No reason why this should go anywhere but down, and it is. So not interested in longing that. It is embedded. Again, if you get into it, you want to get out of it fairly quick if you can. So looking for some kind of pullback up into some kind of resistance area up here, and then look for shorts up here somewhere. Euro Swiss short, again same thing, looking for basically shorts off the back of the Swiss rate announcement. It's done nothing but short. So that's basically what I'm looking for. I want to get some kind of pullback into the 24. The thing that worries me about this is obviously if we get up to there, if it takes us a week or two to get there, that's just about when the rate announcement is going to be on the euro, and at that point I probably won't want to be shorting it. So it's just not on the cards for me at the minute. It's not a brilliant ADR, so I'm not too worried about missing out on this, but a bit of short-term strength came in on Friday last week, Friday. But yeah, nothing interesting. Euro pound, we covered this one. I'd be wary about long in this one as well. There's no strength in the pound, there's no strength in the euro, so therefore this thing's highly likely just to try and have a crack at that and drop again. Sorry, just turn it off. But yeah, so nothing there. Euro yen. So this is the one that you could potentially long the euro on. Again, I think there's better longs out there. You're better off picking, I think, a strong currency at the moment to trade against the yen, so something like the CAD or the US or the Swissy. But euro obviously has made decent headway against the yen. Again, all we managed to do was kind of double top there. So it's a difficult one. I mean, you had good trades out of this last week there, but you can see obviously every time it's had a push, it's got stomped on, it's pushed, and it's getting stomped on again today. So it's just not got the length, the strength to get through and make a good run up into this area. And this is the thing with your bias on an overall currency, which helps you not to get into these situations where you just don't get anywhere with your trades. If you know that the euro is weak and you know that the yen is weak as well, you know there's no bias there. With something like the Canadian dollar, we know is strong and the yen is weak. That's a much better trade because you've got this currency working for you and this currency working for you. Trying to long this, neither of these currencies is on your side, so it makes it a lot more difficult to actually have your trade play out. This is one of those at the moment. We are coming down though into a lovely area of balance, which we've rejected once before. So this is a decent area to buy from. It's just not really showing much sign of getting anywhere. So you've had your 4-hour reversal alert. If you look at this on the hourly, you're retesting or just about to retest the hourly reversal alert. So potentially that retest is a good trade long, somewhere up into this area here, but wouldn't want to go much higher. So again, just doesn't look really great at the moment. Euro New Zealand. So this is in a good spot, but as I said, I'm expecting New Zealand dollar strength off of the rate announcement on Wednesday. So I would be looking much more for a breakout short on this. So if this thing just hovers around or flags, you know, so if we get a decent sort of flag forming, that'd be a nice short, I think, this week. At the moment, it's Monday, we don't know where it's going. If it's just going to break down, don't want to get interested in it anyway. But if it does manage to pull back a little bit this week, might be interested in taking a short on that one, but going to wait a couple of days and see what happens. Euro US dollar short, don't want to be doing anything but shorting. If you're going to long it, your counter trend, potentially. We've got the whole 1-to-1 ratio here. I've got my pending order down here. You can see I've got a buy limit down here at 1 with a stop on it. Just want to buy up this low. We're likely to get some kind of reaction down there. We've got to get there yet. So could well do it today, tomorrow, Wednesday, don't know. But if we can get down there, I'm going to long it. But it's got a stop on it because it is obviously, it doesn't take a rocket science, does it? You are hugely counter trend if you're longing the euro US dollar. You don't want to be doing it. But at big numbers like this, we quite often will get a very decent bounce. So that's the play on that one, waiting for it to get down to those lows and then potentially longing it down there, but I'm not longing it from where it is at the moment. This market can't make its mind up today. We're not interested. We've just done a new high. We're bullish, but as unbullish as you can get at the minute. It's really not interested, is it? Anyway, getting somewhere, but fast, no. Pound odd shorts at the minute are based on pound. Want to be shorting it at the highs somewhere. The pound, you can see this one obviously because we've had this weakness on the Aussie for a while. We're kind of just chopping around at the minute on this one. So I'm interested in longing and shorting this, really. Much more interested in shorting it than I am longing it. But if we can get back up into these sorts of areas where we looked at last week, week before last, be looking at shorting it out of here. I traded this one the week before, didn't I? Yeah, you see there's one there. There was a few other trades in there, I think, on this week as well, where I said, you know, if we get up into this accumulation, we can short it out of there because people will start to step in short, which they did, and then it pushed up again, took out the highs, and then we pushed down last week. So I'd be looking for shorts on it. If we get any RSI extensions on the hourly, I'd be interested. Yeah. So if we can get up to there, I'm interested in shorting out of there. But that's why you have the hourly. That's why I have the hourly RSI dash and the 4-hourly RSI dash, because there's some good setups that you think, right, if we're in an accumulation, we get back up to there, I'm going to get in. And the hourly gives you those entrants where you would never get the alert on the 4-hour. The hourly quite often will give you those entries. So pound odd, if we can get RSI extensions to the upside on the hourly, like that one there, I'd be interested in shorting that. But at the moment, it's sideways in the middle of this range. Yeah, don't trade in the middle of a range, trade at the extremes. So it's just not worth it. Pound CAD, I've got my sells on this one. This is just not really, haven't had the strength on the CAD. I was looking for this hold, which we got, and it just hasn't gone anywhere all week. I've been in this thing all week. I've taken some out of it, I think, as well. Took one out on Friday, not on here, but I took some out earlier in the week as well. But yeah, just not going anywhere. So these lows are holding at the moment. you can see where my trades are. I've got 2 trades on this. I've got a sell stop on this break. So if we get a break of this double bottom, I'm going short again because I think we'll get a push out, and that push out will likely be caused by Canadian dollar strength. We're just waiting for CAD and oil. It's just not happening at the minute. So when it does, it will probably go fairly nicely. But at the minute, we're just every time we push up, we're battering it back down again and just not making any headway. So just waiting. Pound Swiss, same thing. Short. I've got 4 positions short on this one now, very close together. So I'm being a little bit cautious with this. Again, same play. I'm waiting for the Swissy to sort its life out. The CAD and the Swissy have been really let me down this last week. They haven't pushed as strong as they really should be. We've pulled into that accumulation, and we're looking like we're starting to reject it now, which is good. So we've got this nice support resistance area, coincides with the 24. The worrying thing on this one is if we do break that level, I get the feeling we're going to come and retest this high, which is going to be roughly a 3 ADR move away. So I'm a little bit too overloaded, hence I'm watching this one like a hawk at the moment, looking to try and get out of 2 positions on this. But these are the 2 I'm getting out of down here, so I'm reducing these 4 positions down to 2 here. And then if we do bounce off of this, I've just got normal spacing on. If we don't, I'm out at the lows. So I'm cautiously optimistic on this though. It's not making a lot of headway. And you know, we've had a massive push. This is RSI extension, and we have not really, you know, took a lot of strength to get there, and we haven't really made any progress at all. So there's a lot of chop to get through with this. All the way there, there's just a lot of chop. This has got to try and batter its way through before it can make any headway up to this resistance. It's going to find it very, very hard against the Canadian dollar, I think. So short on that one. Pound yen, potentially long. As you can see, I've been long in this one for the last week or 2. Week. So some longs Friday last week, longed it last week as well. Sorry, the week before last. It is a long, technically based on the yen, but again, contracting, not really getting anywhere. So it's not the best yen to take. I don't think there's better yens out there. But long, if it gets extended, potentially you'll get out of it. But yeah, not the best one, and it's bang in the middle at the moment of the range, so not a good place to take it from. God, look at this. Just put another high in, look. I really don't like the fact that we can't get through at the moment. This feels really heavy. I've only got 0.25% on it, so I'm not particularly worried, but don't seem to be able to get any progress on any indice this morning. Pound New Zealand, range bound. Don't take trades in the middle of a range. So we'll see if we get to extensions of ranges this week. Pound US shorts, again, waiting for a pullback. I want to be getting in on a pullback to as close as we can to the 24. This hasn't got high enough for me to take it. I did take some shorts on this, but we're not making enough room. New Zealand dollar CAD, same thing. You got potentially, obviously you got long on the CAD. You've got potentially a long move coming on the New Zealand this week off the rate announcement. So as you can see, we've kind of gone into a bit of a consolidation. The CAD hasn't been strong, but the New Zealand hasn't been able to make any progress on it, so we're just sideways. Also very wicky on M5. Was that on the DAX? Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky today. So nothing there. New Zealand dollar Swiss is pulling back nicely. This is a nice short, so either this one or the Aussie Swiss, take your pick. I've gone in for the Aussie Swiss just because the Aussie tends to be a little bit stronger, but New Zealand Swiss is the same thing. We've got potential New Zealand strength coming, but even if it does, Swiss franc should be able to batter that down when it gets some strength, but again, we're just waiting for the strength, which we haven't got. So that's a nice looking short opportunity, not quite extended on the 4 hour, but again, we're coming up to 24 resistance, got an accumulation there, and we've got a nice level of resistance up at the 72. So get in, get in, get in. You'll get out at some point because we're already extended. So that's the play on that one. So you take that one if you want, or the Aussie Swiss. But I mean, they're both going to do pretty much the same thing. New Zealand dollar yen. Again, it's a week long. We've got this level which is held. It's just, you know, not going anywhere. The yen's really really nice and weak, but there's no currencies which are taking advantage apart from the US dollar at the moment, because nothing else has got any strength whatsoever. So we're just kind of neutrally flip-flopping around. I'll be looking for longs on it. As I say, I took the Aussie yen. As you can see, I've been bashing the Aussie yen. It's the same thing, Aussie yen, New Zealand yen. Take your pick, but they're both nice looking longs. I just got fed up with them. New Zealand US short, waiting for that break of these lows, but with New Zealand rates we could get some nice push. If we do get a push up into this area, I'll be looking for nice short opportunities on that one. And US dollar CAD, all the US dollar pairs. So US dollar CAD, I'm not interested in this at the moment because it's a long bias against a long bias. The US had a big strong move last week, which we saw, which took us back up to these highs. They just did a liquidity run on the highs up here. We are now pulling back, so this is a flag. A lot of people are going to be seeing this as a flag long. So whoever got in on that one got taken out. Anybody getting in here could potentially get taken out again before they make a move. But you're trading a long against a long, so depending on which one has the power and which one is being manipulated on which day of the week, you will get strong movement in one way or the other. So you can really trade this either way at the moment. When you're trading when you've got a strong currency against a strong currency, you're better off trading usually on lower time frames and taking the RSI extensions. As you can see, I took one short up there. I didn't quite like it though, so I got out a bit early on it. It didn't move as fast as I wanted it to. But yeah, any RSI extensions that you find, you're likely to be able to get out of the moves, because if one is quiet, the other one is strong. If the other one is strong, the other one, you know, just they're pushing and pulling against each other. So when you've got something that's pushing and pulling a lot, you get a lot of movement, and that's all you need to make money in position trading is movement. So either way on that one, really. I haven't really got a bias on it either. I can't say whether I'm particularly long or short this pair. I'm kind of both. So at the moment, I'll be a little bit more short than long, just because we're up at the highs of range. But yeah, just take anything you get when it's extended. At the moment, it's not extended. Again, looking at this range as a short-term range, we're bang in the middle. Don't want to take trades in the middle of a range. US dollar Swiss on its way. Again, be looking for short opportunities up there. Temporary shorts though, not really. Again, it's the same as the CAD. US dollar Swiss, US dollar CAD. They've both got potentials for being long against longs. The Swissy should be powering up a little bit more. So you can trade this one either way. I would rather wait for us to get somewhere close to this area where we put in the next leg up, so we know we got some potential resistance here. This level is important. Yeah, so we accumulated at it as well there. So this is an important level. This is where I'd like to look at getting interested in short. So if for any reason we got a 150 ADR push on US Swiss today, I'll be shorting it. We're extended on the 4 hour, we'll be extended on the hourly, we'll be extended on M15, we'll be extended on ADR, and we'll be at a good level of resistance where we're likely to get a reaction. Good area. Right now it's just sitting in the middle of no man's land, isn't it? This whole area here is just flat. So there is potential we could get some reaction here. Unlikely, I think. So waiting on that. Want to see it get extended. And again, this is what these dashboards are for. You know, half the time I look at these dashes and I'm looking at these pairs, I'm concentrating on them, but they're wrong. But you will get them come up and you'll be like, bias is right on that, I like it. and that's what the dashes are for. They're there to alert me and say, go and have a look at this chart. Oh yeah, I remember I was looking for the US dollar Swiss to get extended to the upside. Hourly will tell me that before the 4 hourly ever does, if it ever does. So that's why I have the hourly and the 4 hourly dashes, and obviously ADR. If US dollar Swiss hits ADR high, I'm in. So all these dashes are all there just to, they're an early warning system to say, you know, go and have a look at your charts. 9 times out of 10 I look at them and go, no, I'm not interested. But the ones I am interested in, those are the ones that I'm getting into, which are making the moolah. Pound's coming down nicely at the minute. And finally, US dollar yen. Pushed out the highs. It's a long, as I say, I want to get in down here. I don't want to get in up there. And I don't want to short it. So I need it down here for me to be interested. Somewhere down near the 24. We're not, so I'm not interested. So that's it. Oil coming down. Gold, for those that trade it. We had the big move last week on the US dollar strength. And again, you've got to look at this. This is just another Forex pair. Although everyone loves trading gold, it's just another FX pair. It's a US dollar cross. It does move independently of the US dollar when gold is being used as a commodity for purchase a lot. But at the moment, gold is locked down tight in Russia. There's no exports on it. So I can't see it doing anything but really sort of accumulating and pushing with the US, which is kind of what it's been doing, or pulling with the US. You know, it'll push if the US is weak and it'll dump if the US is strong. But like I say, I don't trade it because I got much better crosses on the US, and they're less volatile and less spiky and irritable. So it's the grumpy child of trading. I don't trade with it. Crypto, not interested. Not that I'm not interested, it's not interested. Crypto's just not interested. The last 3 weeks, it's just not interested, is it? Not going anywhere. That's where I think it's going with the rest of the indices, but not for moi. Yeah, so that's it, really. Hopefully the DAX, I can get back that 0.5% on the DAX, make a bit of profit if it actually decides to go anywhere, which at the moment it's just not going anywhere. I really shouldn't trade indices on this account. This is my position trading. My indices money's going in the futures now. But this was just too good. I loaded this up this morning and I was like, I just can't not hit the button. So I just stuck my buy stops in. I love these big ones. They usually get done, but we are so dragging our heels this morning. You've got to think of this like a flag as well. They are dangerous gap fills because of that reason. Although there is no flagpole and it's a gap, they are, when they do this is actually flagging. So there's a lot of people will be going short on this, which is why we're finding a lot of resistance on it. We've gapped down. It's a short signal. But equally, the market wants to be balanced and correct, and there'll be a lot of institutions caught offside that will be looking to take this long this morning to get their books balanced. So this is why the gaps get filled most of the time. But we're finding a lot of resistance this morning for some reason. So I will be monitoring this one, and I will be playing this morning. I'm in my second position on it now, so my average is in the center. Also, because I've got the 2 positions on now, it gives me a much faster out. So if I can get to 1% on this, I will probably get out of this. Very likely we're going to do it, but I just don't like the weakness of it this morning. So yeah. Hopefully we get that drop on the pound. Doesn't look particularly interested either, does it? More bearish than bullish, but there's not a lot going on anywhere really at the minute. We are very, very, very accumulative. It's almost like we're waiting for something, but there isn't anything today. Oh, we got that statement of intent tomorrow morning as well. That is an orange. Obviously, bear in mind we've got the rate coming out the next day. It's unlikely, but there is a possibility that they could give some kind of hint towards what's happening with the rate tomorrow ahead of the announcement. I think it unlikely, but just be aware if you do wake up from the Asian session and find a massive Aussie New Zealand move, it'll be off the back of that, and it will be because they've mentioned something about what is actually going to be happening the following day. I don't think it will, but it'd be a bit stupid, wouldn't it? You might as well just announce the rate if you're going to do that. But just be aware of that. But other than that, I don't know what we're waiting for. The market's just not interested this morning, is it? Very quiet. So anybody got anything else you want to look at? If you have, I don't know what it is because I've looked at it all. Nothing much else of any interest really. Futures wise, we're very low volume on futures as well. Oh, there's my connection tab. I wonder where that gone. Let's move that over there. I was looking for that this morning. It was on one of my other monitors. And I accidentally pulled a cable out of my main monitor and all my windows went, oh, you want this to go onto those windows now, do you? Those monitors. And then obviously everything was in the wrong place. But you can see we're literally just rotating this morning on futures. Again, just building up this volume cluster here, which was very light before this big point of control step. This is what we're struggling with this morning. But volume's very light, very, very light. 2Ks, 1K, 3K, 2K. We had that big initial open, which was like 7,000 contracts, and we haven't done anything. So there's no one trading this morning. By the looks of things, it's just dead. But yeah, that's it really. That's all we can do today. Bit rubbish. So we just have to wait and see what happens this morning. But I'm going to remain with a long bias on the indices. I think for the morning, just because we've got those gaps to aim for. There's a lot more. You can see on the heat map. There's a lot more defense of the lows at the moment than there is highs. So it looks like the market is much more interested in longing. It's just there's no volume. There's not enough buyers at the moment to make any progress. So we just got to wait. I think on all of these. See what happens. But yeah. Anybody got anything else you want to discuss? Big volume gap under the point of control. What do you mean by volume gap? Oh, here. This is this is kind of referred to as a step. Yeah, I mean, this is just there was an awful lot of contracts dumped in here, and we just rotated on that section, and then we trickled down. This was all done pre-open. All this movement. The open was kind of here-ish. So yeah, I don't know. This is a lovely area to short from. You see a load of orders came in, load of volume came in short there. And we're just rotating this volume cluster at the minute. But we have broken this 3 times this morning. which is why I was saying it keeps rotating around the point of control at the moment, which is indicative of being algorithmic and no big buyers or sellers at all interested. So, but I don't trade, like, I hate trading these rotations. A lot of people do really well with them. I just find them annoying, because when I decide to go into the rotation, that's when it breaks on me, and it happens to me too often, and it drives me up the wall. So I'd rather get in long there and ride that roller coaster up there, because as soon as we break that VWAP, we're going to go through all this light liquidity. And I know there's a load of buyers in the market. They're not here. They're all looking to buy up the lows, look. So they're all sitting there poised. The market's not moving, so just got to sit and wait for them to do something. But anyway, hopefully we will get that movement at some point today. So I will be just monitoring these positions. Pound Swiss, hello, we've had a movement. Got some balls. So what I'm really looking for on this pound Swiss is I wanted to get a break of this low here. If we can get that break, I will probably take 2 positions off. I think we are heading quite possibly for yesterday's low, but it's very, very slow at the minute. So I want to get some money in the bank. I'm going to ignore this $200 and assume that I'm going to get this gap play working on the DAX, and the DAX is going to get rid of that, because I shouldn't really be doing this on this account. So I'm going to start to bank some of this pound if we can get a little bit more of a push down. Again, look, I mean, for the last 45 minutes we've gone nowhere, have we? It's just dead. Very tricky. We're just testing point of control again on the ES, which is here on the DAX. Yeah, those 3 bits I pointed out were those 3 attempts to run higher on the heat map. It's just not able to. What we need is a close. We need another strong close candle, and after that strong close candle, I think we'll probably get a run. But it's just, you know, held down every time. We're just getting held down at that level. But we'll see. But that's what I'm going to be doing this morning. I'm not going to trade any more futures. I've done $1,600 this morning on those accounts. And obviously not all real cash, because there are valuations, some of those, most of those. But I will probably wait until we get some volume coming in. If I see some moves coming in, then I will hop on in the direction of those moves. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50, same time. I'll let you know if I'm getting into anything else today, but I can't see anything getting anywhere today that's going to get me interested whatsoever. There's no news until 3 o'clock, and that is pound news. So again, with more my pound positions, I'm going to be having those off by Bailey's talk anyway, because Bailey's likely to shake the market up a little bit. So hopefully we can get some decent profit out of the pound pairs this afternoon. Apart from that, there's not really a lot on the cards, is there? If it's not moving, I can't get in. So wait and see. All right. So if anybody's got anything they need, come in the Telegram group. DAX is moving now. Here we go. So let's see if we can get a hold on this just before I go. So looking for a new higher high. But I want a higher high and a hold. There we go. So we just tapped it, took the liquidity. So let's just see if we can hold You know, the difference between, and this is why these labels are here, the strong close, yeah? The strong close candle is one that moves in a direction and closes very close to the high or the low. A long wick is not a strong candle at all. We want that. That shows you strength. Right, now we've got some buyers on the side. Pull back long. That's what we're looking for. We're just about to get to a point we might get a slip long on the US indices as well, so we may get quite a big candle coming in here. But we'll see if we can hold this. Oh, Swissy, look. Come on. 2 minutes left on this candle. So if we can hold that, I would say we've got a very good chance of making this push back up from here. If this just rejects into another long wick, that could well be quite a bearish sign, because you saw the amount of buying that came in there that it took to get that break. If the buyers can't hold it above that level, they may well just give up, get out, and obviously they will then turn into sellers and we'll get a flush. So we really want to see a little bit more buying coming in, or at least holding these highs. So this candle is going to be crucial. We do not want a bearish engulfing here. We just want inside bars, or we want to make more progress from now on. So if we can do that, we've got a very good chance of getting that run today. I'm going to take one of these off. If we get to 1%, I'm going to bank one and break even the other, because that then gets rid of my loss, and then I've got a runner to try and make a percent out of. That's my plan on that this morning, on that particular one, on this one. But again, on the futures, we just basically came to the top of that rotation you just saw in the ES. We basically tapped into VWAP and we bounced off VWAP. Again, we didn't get through those highs. So if we do get through those highs, I think we're going to get a nice little flush to the upside. And there's a fair old distance as well, where there's no volume. So we should get a decent push. It's a shame we can't see the DAX. I haven't got the DAX on the futures. But it will look very, very similar. Okay, so I'll leave it there, guys. Back tomorrow morning, 7:50. If you need anything, come in the Telegram group. Otherwise, I will be back in the morning. We'll have a look at where we are, and I'll update in the Telegram group any trades I'm taking off, or anything that I'm adding to. All right, so have a good day, and hopefully see you in the morning.